Hi, my name is Christine Rice. For this text set, I chose to focus on a book called Hattie Big Sky by Kirby Larson. This book falls under the genre of realistic fiction, and it focuses in on the life of Hattie Brooks, a 16-year-old girl who lives among family members who she doesn't know very well and who she also doesn't like very much. Suddenly, she receives a letter that her uncle has recently died and has left all of his land in Montana to her. The book covers the time when she leaves her home and travels to Montana and becomes a homesteader on her uncle's farm. I love this book not only because it tells of the courageous moving of Hattie to a place that she does not know and a lifestyle that she has not lived, but also because it's told mainly through letters composed between her and her friend Charlie, who's in war. So not only is it a great story for my kids, but it also would teach them a lot about letter writing. And I thought it was just a great way to tell a story instead of the simple chapter novel as well. The first content area I would focus on is writing. So after reading the book, I would reread a few of Charlie and Hattie's corresponding letters out loud to my students. I would point out the different elements of a letter, such as the heading, the intro, date, greeting, and signatures, to name a few. I would then ask my students to write letters to either Hattie Brooks or to Charlie from the story using this interactive letter writing website that I found on readwritethink.org. These letters that they write would then be printed out at school and handed in to be reviewed not only to see if they understood the book, but also to be checked for grammar, spelling, and the elements of a proper letter as well. So this is the letter generator. So it begins by asking which type of letter you would like to write. And I chose friendly letter. It then helps you step by step through your heading, which appears in the upper right-hand corner with your street address and so on. Then the salutation or the greeting, the body of the letter, which tells what you have to say. And it tells you about indenting and including lines between paragraphs and so on. The closing, it gives you suggestions of how to close. And finally, your first name for a signature. And a postscript or PS message if you would like. It also allows you to add a border, which I thought was a really cool aspect of this. And then it shows you your letter and you can save it as a file to be emailed to anyone or also to be printed out in a computer lab as I would have my students do. So as my artifact, I created a letter on that letter generator for Hattie. And I just wrote a letter talking about how I read a book about her and I wanted to learn more about her. And some of the questions I wanted to ask her were how she had such courage at a young age to move to her uncle's farm in Montana. Knowing myself, I only got my license when I was 17, so I can't even imagine moving all the way to Montana alone. So I just asked her about that and her relatives that she left behind and just asking her to write back so that we could correspond more. My second content area lesson would be in science. So in the story, when Hattie inherits her uncle's land, she moves to his farm and becomes a homesteader. And a homesteader means that you use subsistence or agriculture and grow much of what you use and eat yourself on the farm. So using a website I found called myamericanfarm.org, my students would learn about the cycles of different plants and animals that are commonly found on a farm like Hattie's. So this would serve as a great lesson in science and specifically in the life cycle of plants and animals. So the website myamericanfarm.org has a lot of interactive games for students. but this specific one says plants, animals, and even products we use every day have a life cycle. They change shape and size from when they begin to when they are in their finished stage. In this game, you'll discover the life cycle of some fun items. So I can teach you how to play, but I've played it, so I'll just go through it here. So you pick one of these three, soy, cotton, or pumpkin, and you can also do paper, which is really cool, and a horse. So as you can see, it shows pictures, and you're supposed to put them in the correct circles as they go around. And I've actually done this one before, so that's why I know. But usually you can have them check your work. Oh, actually, I did not get it right. So if you don't get them all right in their correct circles, they'll leave the ones that you did get right in there and then take the two out that you did not. So once you think that you've got it, you say check my work. And it tells you great job and says let me share a cool fact about soy with you. Soybeans make a tasty, nutritional snack when boiled whole and served with salt. Made this way, they are called by their Japanese name, edamame. So I thought this was a great website not only for learning about the cycles of animals on farms, but also just understanding agriculture and the difficulty of farming. And I thought this was a great and interactive science lesson. Some other titles and genres I chose are The Princess Academy, which is modern fantasy, The Evolution of the Calpurnia Tate, which is historical fiction, Claudette Colvin, which is a biography, and Last Stop on Market Street, which is a picture book. Princess Academy is very popular among middle school to early high school girls, and I thought since it did win the Newbery Medal and I did read it in high school, I thought this would be a great novel for maybe some SSR or silent reading time. Not to really be studied since there will most likely be boys in the class, but just for some girls to enjoy on their own and to have in the classroom for them to pick up whenever they're ready to read independently. And Last Stop on Market Street is a picture book that I found, which is a great book, and it's about a boy who kind of notices all the expensive things that people have around him, such as cars and iPhones and so on. And not only is it a really cute book, but I thought it was great for teaching lessons about humility and just about learning about the world around you and being grateful for what you have also. So again, this is Christine Rice, and this is my 7th set of book critiques. Thank you.